On Thursday, 12th August 2021, the world celebrated the International Youth Day as the United Nations Observance Day. The day is significant for two reasons. First, it is a day set aside to bring matters concerning the youth across the world to the attention of the international community. Second, it is also a day set aside to celebrate and accentuate potentials of young people as partners in development across the world.
Young people are on the front lines of the struggle to build a better future for all. The COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the dire need for the kind of transformational change they seek, and young people must be full partners in that effort. This year's International Youth Day highlights solutions developed by young innovators to address challenges to our food systems. They are tackling inequities in food security, biodiversity loss, threats to our environment, and much more. We see that same drive, creativity, and commitment in many other areas, from gender equality to education and skills development. But young people cannot do it on their own. They need allies to make sure they are engaged, included, and understood. Guided by the United Nations System-Wide Youth Strategy, Youth 2030, the UN is strengthening its work for and with young people worldwide. I urge everyone to guarantee young people a seat at the table as we build a world based on inclusive, fair, and sustainable development for all. Thank you.
Youth can be a positive force for development when provided with the knowledge and opportunities they need to thrive. Today, statistics reveals that there are 1.2 billion young people aged between 12 to 24 years across the world, accounting for 16% of the global population. It is expected that by 2030, the target date for the Sustainable Development Goals (SDG) that make up the 2030 agenda, the number is projected to have grown by 7% to nearly 1.3 billion. In the next 30 years, it is believed that the world population will be about 2 billion. The United Nations says it has become recognized by numerous stakeholders that simply producing a larger volume of healthier food more sustainably will not ensure human and planetary well-being. Other crucial challenges must also be addressed, such as the interlinkages embodied by the 2030 Agenda, including poverty reduction, social inclusion, healthcare, biodiversity, conservation, and climate change mitigation. It has been acknowledged that there is a need for inclusive support mechanisms that ensure youth continue to amplify efforts collectively and individually to restore the planet and protect life, while integrating biodiversity in the transformation of food systems. The theme of the International Youth Day 2021, Transforming Youth Systems, Youth Innovation for Human and Planetary Health, highlights the success of such a global effort would not be feasible without the meaningful participation of young people. Therefore, the need for youth innovation towards solving world problems, especially as it concerns food development as well as health issues as the world combats the coronavirus pandemic, is a sine qua non towards solving these issues.
And welcome back. The International Youth Day 2021 focused on transforming food systems, youth innovation for human and planetary health. Our guest, Pastor Honey Olawale, has been a pioneer in several projects that had led to reduction of poverty in Africa. He is the International Director for African Project Against Suicide, the largest anti-suicide organization in Africa, covering 29 countries. He is the CEO of African Skills Center, and he is here to help us understand the implications and opportunity. Hello, sir, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, let's get straight into it. Vis-a-vis the call for innovation for young people, what is the actual state of the global food system?
Really excited that this particular topic we are going to be looking at it from the Africa's perspective.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I have discovered personally from the little experience I've gathered through the projects we have been involved in across Africa,
Yeah.
uh, I will be able to speak comfortably the mind of Africans, and I will also be able to make suggestions. Generally, around the world, uh, we can see that so many things are running presently, and I don't want to say we seems to be following a little bit at the back in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to say, I don't want to use that that line, but a lot still need to be done in Africa for us to catch up with most of the things that are going on globally.
Okay.
And immediately I saw this topic for this year's International Youth Day.
Okay, let's jump right into it. We were talking about transforming food systems this year's celebration of the World Youth Day, and you were drilling down to Africa, the African situation, because after all, that is what immediately concerns us. In your experience, because you run two very large youth groups, and we're asking young people to innovate, to solve, to transform the global food system, the African food system. What do you think, is this possible considering the state of the young African people that you know, that you've worked with, that you've helped for so long?
Yeah, actually, this is possible if we start and if we use the right, I would say, we need to start from the beginning. And this have to start with the sensitization. We need aggressive sensitization across Africa. And these have to go to the schools, to the universities, even to the high schools, because this is very, very important. And also our teachers, our lecturers must also be carried along. I discovered that people are just farming and they are producing food for survival. That has been the major focus of anyone.
Wow,
and
great.
So if you go to them and you want to tell them something else, there seems to be more focused on even the survival first.
Okay.
But at the same time, we have to look at the situation we have on ground now in our hands. We have to protect our planet. We cannot say at the same time, we are trying to survive. At the same time, we're also trying to protect the planet as much as possible. So many innovations are coming up, so many new ways of farming, so many new ways of food production that are climate friendly are coming up day by day. And it's really exciting to see this. But I was discussing with a farmer last week who has a big farm and is involved in training people internationally.
Yeah.
And one thing he told me is that it's very, very expensive, even if you want to go into some of this farming, food production that will be climate friendly. So, and he was asking me, where do you expect these people to get funding to maintain some of these things?
Yeah.
So they just have to do it whichever way it has to be done. And if you look at some of the foods that were listed that are really not planet friendly, you will discover that these foods, there's some of the food we eat daily, and people are producing it.
Can you name some of those foods?
quantity
Can you
every
name
day.
some of those foods that we eat that are not climate friendly, that we eat daily?
Let me mention rice because I know
Yeah.
there's no way you go to in Africa that you won't talk about rice.
Yes.
And some country, as you say, it's not they don't have it in enough quantity, rice
Yes.
production. They are trying to bring up more ways they can get more rice. But then if you look at this, you will see that the more people are trying to produce rice, then the more we are destroying our climate, the more things are going bad for the climate. So, and if you look at some other food like soya beans, even somebody was analyzing beef, cow meat production, that you will discover that is still part of the problem we have, and that it has to be done in such a way that it will not be dangerous to the climate. But all these things we are talking about here, ordinary man on the street don't want to hear all this.
Yeah, I'm going to interject a bit here. You've mentioned a few things. You've mentioned rice, you've mentioned soybeans, you've mentioned beef, and a lot of people, our viewers, wondering, well, like, how does growing rice affect our planet, our environment? How does growing soybeans affect our planet? How does, cow meat affect our planet? By the way, I'm a cow meat lover. So how do some of these things, rice, I can understand, the sheer amount of water you need to farm rice is a lot, that I can understand. But how do these things really affect us apart from that?
Yes, actually you have said it. The amount of water that are needed for some of these, the production of some of these plants, and is enormous. Yeah. And it's not good for the forest. It's leading to deforestation. Yeah. And if you also, the issue of beef, the quantity of land that will be taken to rear cows and till you are able to sell them for meat, it cannot be compared with some you were going to use for other animals that you are going to rear also, as much as possible. Okay. So anything that will be taking large quantity of water, any plantation that will need you to invest a large quantity of water. Yeah. So we are being discouraged from going into them. You look at wildfire going on in some countries. Yes. Look at excessive heat. Look at some of these things. It seems some people don't even know that anything is actually wrong. Yeah, they don't know that things were not really like this so many years back.
So which brings me to... Sorry for interjecting again, I'm really sorry. But which brings me to the next, because you raise a very key point there. A lot of people are not aware that these are issues. So how do we get to raise a young generation? Because you deal with a young generation, of a critical generation of people who are dealing with suicide. You deal with another group of people who are empowered with skills, with your project, with your skills project. How do we communicate to a new generation of people that is not just enough to be skilled to provide for yourself, but you have to think about the planet and planetary health and all of that? How do we raise this new generation?
All hands must be on deck. It's not just the responsibility of one person. We all have to do this. Like I said earlier, we have to take it to the schools. I went to some countries, like Rwanda. I was there, and also I think Kenya also is doing this also. They won't allow you to bring plastic. They won't allow you to bring nylon. We call it nylon in some countries. We call it plastic in some other countries. Yeah. If you want to package anything for you, they use paper to package things. They don't. If they see a nylon paper, a nylon plastic in your hand, it's a criminal offense. Wow. No, they are just trying to create an awareness. The first time I was going to one of these countries, the person, our host, told me, please make sure there's no nylon in your bag, because you are going to be... It's as serious as that, because they have taken the awareness to the schools. All the teachers, we have to teach the students, and right from the basic level to the university level, we have to protect the planet. Okay. We have to try and minimize some of the things we do that we think are not necessary, and we have to save our planet.
All right. Once again, I think this is very serious. I like the way that you've talked about it. All hands need to be on deck. It's no longer a situation where just me for myself. We have to consider our planet, our continent, in everything we do. So raising a new generation that is able, conscious and aware of our environment. Olawale, honey, thank you very much. We wish you well in your various projects, both in the Skills Center and also in the Anti-Suicide Center. Thank you very much for taking the time to be with us.